What's up, everybody? I'm Sly, the movie guy, and here's where I rank all 12 X-Men films from the worst to the best with Dark Phoenix. I did a review of that film on the channel. You can check it out. I put the links down below in the description box. And by the end of this video, let me know where you rank all your 12 X-Men films from the worst to the best, because we all have different opinions which X-Men film did it for us. We have one that really blew our minds away and ones that just didn't leave us happy leaving out the movie theaters. So put down your rankings down below in the comment section. Let me know where you rank all your 12 X-Men films and all. And with all that being said, let's just get started. X-Men's Origins Wolverine. This is one of the worst X-Men films I've seen in my life. I mean, one of the qualities that didn't work in this movie, the tone's all over the place. It was like a love story, then like a slapstick comedy, then like a drama in there, and none of all that doesn't blend in this movie well, and the storylines doesn't make sense. Then Wolverine claws, it's all cartoonish. I mean, from the first three X-Men films that look so real, we get here and it doesn't look good at all. And the CGI looks really bad here and everything. And lastly, Deadpool. That Deadpool did not look good at all. This movie was just, I don't know what happened. It's just almost like a X-Men parody film. And it really hurts because Hugh Jackman is really trying in this movie and everything doesn't work around him well. And then we have Leitch, which is a great actor, plays Sabretooth. Kind of didn't do much for his character at all. So Hugh Jackman and Leitch does well. And then Ryan Reynolds is doing his best, but like I said, that Deadpool interpretation was horrible. Everything about this film doesn't work, and that's the reason why it's in last place. Now, you one of the people that do like it, hey, I'm happy for you. For me, it was just, it left a bitter taste in my mouth. X-Men Last Stand. Now, this was one of not the worst comic movie, but very disappointing. And I don't know what. I love the first two X-Men films. I really love them. Here, it falls into that boat. Like Spider-Man 3. Too many storylines all in there. Just like we have where the Dark Phoenix storylines in there. Then we have like the mayor and some trying to give the cure to the mutants and stuff and all that. Magneto still want to kill the humans. All that storylines are just kind of tornado twisted together, and it just doesn't make the story cohesive at all. And then we have overstuffed characters here. We have Angel, we have Juggernaut, we have so many new characters. Everything just doesn't make your mind boggle so much that you really can't stay focused on what's going on. I think some of the performances is great. Some of them are kind of questionable and stuff like that. And some stuff in the film, in the movie, just doesn't make sense here. Like Magneto's in the woods with a bunch of these other mutants that he meets into some type of little church thing or whatever. It just doesn't make any sense why he's in the woods, not around metal stuff. And then the Dark Phoenix thing, storyline and stuff with Wolverine and stuff. Everything is in there. Professor X dies and stuff. Everything in this movie was poorly executed. And I don't know what happened here. And Juggernaut, oh man. Let me talk about that. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. That was, Juggernaut was just completely off. One of my favorite X-Men characters. They messed him up. But I do say Hugh Jackman was great as Wolverine. Kelsey Grammer is great. It was great. Is great as Beast. Man, was fantastic in that role. Great casting. So some parts of X-Men 3 was good, but some overall the movie was just very disappointing. Dark Phoenix. Now, if you see my review, I didn't think this film was bad, but some elements was just disappointing. I think the acting was great in this movie. It was really great. I thought Sophie Turner was absolutely fantastic here in this movie. Man, her acting was great here. James McAvoy was great in this movie. Michael Fassbender was great. I think the acting was great. It's just the storyline. Again, when the X-Men movie is not good, it always comes down to the storyline. It seemed like the first act of the movie was like, okay, this is kind of great and all. This storyline is kind of like cohesive here. Second act, it was like kind of like, what film am I watching? And then it gets to the third act. It's a totally different film. So it's like the first, the second, and third act. It's like all together, like totally different films. It's not even blended in together. And that's really sad. And this is coming from a director that's directing the film for the first time, who produced the other X films, Simon Kinberg. And I felt like this was just too much for him as the first director. He should have just started small. Because here he's coming into a film that we already seen a movie already of Dark Phoenix. So him coming in here, I felt like it was just too much for him. Maybe they could have brought Matthew Vaughn in here, but in that could have probably been a better movie. And that just was the problem. The storyline was just too much here, just like things thrown around. And Jessica Chastain as the main villain kind of had to be in here, but it was just the villain was not really, was just like kind of like one note, kind of like was just thrown in there, just kind of like made the storyline kind of say, did she really need to be in here? And it's like like a studio interference. They just like say, hey, we're just gonna throw this villain here, just throw it in there. So not the worst I mean, it's ranked on 10. I don't think it's the worst kind of movie. It does have flaws and issues in here. I think they could have done better with the action in this film. But overall, if you want to watch this movie, I say give it a try. But if you want people that didn't like it, hey, I can see that. But me, I didn't think it was that bad. Could have been a lot better, yes. X-Men Apocalypse. This is one of the films that it was like one of my anticipated films in when the comic films come out in 2016. This was like on my top list. This was like ahead of like Deadpool, maybe like Civil War, like neck and neck. This was very disappointing. We have like Apocalypse and stuff, him touching the TV and stuff like that. And Oscar Isaac is a great actor. And the way they just made Apocalypse, it just was like that character that came from the Power Rangers and stuff. It was just totally horrible. Some of the storyline was just messy. But I do say Michael Fassbender as Magneto, the storyline was fantastic here with his family and stuff like that. And the woods scene, that was fantastic. The other characters that they had in this film, I just didn't like Nightcrawler character to Cyclops. None of that didn't work for me at all. Everything was just a mess. And spoiler, one of my favorite scenes where Wolverine is in that, where the Wolverine origin where he get his metal claws. That scene and in that place where he gets his claws at, absolutely amazing and all that. That was great. I really love that scene. One of the best scenes. And with the Michael Fassbender Wood scene, absolutely love that. Those are only two good scenes. This was just a disappointing X-Men. And Apocalypse is one of my favorite villains. What happened here, I don't know. It was totally horrible. And I'm just going to leave it as that. The Wolverine. I know a lot of people. I know there's some people who do not like this film. I like this film. Does it have issues? Yes. It has the negatives, the flaws. It's not a perfect movie. Now, I'll say this. The negatives about this movie is the last final act. The last act of the movie where it looked kind of a little cartoonish. And this was directed by James Mangold. I think it was maybe a studio interference because the second act was fantastic. The movie from the beginning, middle was great. Until that final end, that's when it messed up. And Hugh Jackman's performance is absolutely amazing. You cannot disagree with me on that. His acting was so great in this movie. And the tone was not, like I said, the first second, the tone was not like a comedy fest and stuff. It was basically like a serious grounded film. Until that final act, that's when you can question on yeah. But the action is really and a fresh ad. Man, I loved it. There's some scenes that would just put chills down my spine. Especially one of the scenes where Wolverine with the samurais and stuff like that was absolutely amazing. So I say give this film a watch. If you haven't seen it, I say check it out if you haven't seen it yet. I personally liked it, but I can understand where people didn't like this film and stuff. But hey, everybody has an opinion. So for me, I enjoyed it. Deadpool 2. I know some people love it, some people hate it. I'm one of the people that love this film. I watched it in the movie theater 3 times in 2018 last year. It's a fun, entertaining movie, and I really had a fun time with it. It's not better than the first one, but man, I think everything in this movie works. Josh Brolin as Cable was fantastic. What I have to say, Ryan Reynolds is great as Deadpool. He owns the role. He was born to play that role. Him and the kid's chemistry was great on screen. I like how the kid was talking junk and stuff, and that kid came from Hunt for the Wilder People. He was fantastic. And the humor was just funny. I watched this movie I bought this on DVD, and I watched it 6 times. I still have the same laughs. The humor still hits me, and I still have a great time watching it. And the action scenes were just great here. I thought David Leitch did a fantastic job on action scenes. Some of it kind of was just too much towards like the third act of the film that kind of like dragged the film. I was like, okay, they could have cut it down. Overall, this is a fun film. I recommend you watching this film if you haven't seen it yet. It's fantastic. I really loved it, man. There's the things about it. What works is what I like about it. It wasn't trying to do the same thing as what the first film did. It to me, it felt like it was its own movie, and that's what I like about it. It went with what it was going to do. It knows what it is, and I liked about it, and it was fantastic. And it has some moments here where you can just care for Deadpool, because there's some scenes that happens here, which contains a little spoiler if you haven't seen it. Deadpool's girlfriend dies or something in it, and towards like in the beginning of the film and stuff like that, and that kind of like hurts, and you kind of feel for Deadpool. And then kind of like in the end where he used that time travel thing with Cable and stuff, which is so funny. He goes back in time and stuff like that, goes back and change stuff. And it has one of the funniest, and this I'll keep no spoiler in here. There's one part that I find funny, and it came from another X-Men movie. One of the scenes where Deadpool used the Cable's time travel thing. I was just like, oh, I didn't see that coming. It was so funny. So that's one of the parts I like from the film. This, like I said, please check this film out if you haven't seen it yet. X-Men First Class. This one came out in 2011 with Captain America First Avengers, Thor, and Green Lantern. Captain America and Thor were good movies, and when I saw Green Lantern, I was like, ugh. Green Lantern didn't do it for me. This movie blew my socks away. I was just, woo! I couldn't believe it. And in this movie, I didn't see it coming. I saw the trailers. I was like, okay. I mean, after X-Men Last Stand and X-Men Origins Wolverine, I was just like, is this going to be good? So it was like, I went and moved theater with very, very like low expectations, and it blew me away. Matthew Vaughn did a fantastic job of directing this film. And this is the director that did Kingsman Secret Service. If you haven't seen that film yet, I recommend you checking it out. The X-Men First Class, I'm losing words because this movie had everything. Everything in this movie worked. Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy, the first time I've seen him on screen as the young Professor X and Magneto was perfect. The actor that played Beast, Jennifer Lawrence did great as Mystique here in this film, and Kevin Bacon as the villain. Kevin Bacon as the villain. When you heard that, you're like, is that gonna work? It worked. It worked perfectly, and everything in this movie was just absolute blast. The action works, the camera shots works, the color, everything, the tone, everything works here in this film. And this film deserves 2 thumbs up from directing to writing. Everything works in this film. This is a must-watch film if you haven't seen it yet. film that started it all, the game changer of comic book films, X-Men, the 2000, the first film. This movie still is one of my favorite X-Men movies. This one was just like what helped bring the change the game for comic movies. We had the late comic films in the late 90s that just didn't help, but this one was just like, woo, this is just like, wow, we can make any comic film like this. This is the one that can just did it. I mean, the casting, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Professor X, Magneto, great. One of the castings that got criticized the most, and the internet wasn't as big. Can you imagine if the internet was this big now? If the internet was out, like the internet we got like Twitter and Facebook, like back then when they was if Hugh Jackman cast as Wolverine, the internet would have blew like crazy. Everyone was like, why did you pick this guy to play Wolverine? He proved everybody wrong. And back then I was young back then. I was like 7 years old when this came out. To me, that was Wolverine in my eyes. That was Wolverine. It looked like something that they took him out of the pages of the comic, put him live action. That to me was Wolverine. And as I got older, I learned the actor's name. Hugh Jackman was just perfect at this role of Wolverine. He completely knocked this role out of the park. The face expression, the characteristics of the character personality of Wolverine was just perfect as Hugh Jackman did on screen. It was just, you could believe he was a badass as Wolverine. It was just, even though the height is not the same, because Wolverine is like 4'11" in the comic book and stuff, and Hugh Jackman's like 6 foot. We have 6 foot Wolverine, but hey, it worked. Everything worked. Taylor, I think the guy named Taylor Maine that's Sabretooth was great. And the guy that plays Darth Maul, man, Ray Parker, was great as Toad. Man, I love Toad in this movie. Woo! Why did they kill him all? Why did they kill him? I love Toad in this movie. Rebecca Romaine Stamos, to me, is the best Mystique in my eyes. She was fantastic. I love this movie. This is a must-watch movie, and this is what helped the comic book, the game. It changed the comic book game, and it really helped kind of like revamp the comic book movies that we see now and stuff. So I say watch this movie if you haven't seen it yet. X-Men Days of Future Past. When I saw the trailers, I was invested, and then when I went to the movie theater, I left out happy with a smile on my face. The trailers and the movie didn't let me down. This movie was great. It was from the comic books, that Days of Future Past, and I really, really love this movie. This movie was absolutely fantastic. Everything about it was just so great. Peter Dinklage was great in this film. Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy, they always great. Hugh Jackman gives one of the best performances. Him going back in time travel just to fix things up, because in the storyline, if they go ahead and pass, somebody has to survive. If they die and stuff, it won't work and stuff. So Hugh Jackman, since he, as Wolverine, has the healing power, he has to go back in time. It worked perfectly. And Quicksilver, absolutely amazing here. I forgot the actor's name, but man, Quicksilver was just so amazing in this film. The actor that played it, the performance was so great. The performance in this movie was absolutely fantastic. I don't know where to begin. This movie is a must-watch. If this is your top 10 favorite comic film of all time, hey, you have the right mind. This, I will not argue with you. This is top. If this is on anybody's top 10 comic films of all time, hey, fair argument. It's a great, great movie, and I'm just gonna leave it as that. This is fantastic from start to finish. The blood, the violence, rated R. When they was debating about this film, Logan, is it gonna be P-13 rated R? I was hoping for that rated R. If it was P-13, I'll be like, okay, fun film. But when they said rated R, I was like, oh yes, And then the director, James Mangold, who did the Wolverine, which I thought he did great instead of the last third act. Here, rated R, director James Mangold, all that fit perfectly. It played like the fingerprints of James Mangold, what he can do. This was like in his playground. This rated R thing was so, it blended in. The last time we're going to see Hugh Jackman play Wolverine, it worked perfectly. This was absolutely fantastic. Hugh Jackman's performance was great. Patrick Stewart was great, but the actress that played X-23, woo! Oh, she was amazing. Wow, she kicked some serious ass here. Oh, she was just, whoa, I saw the trailer of it, I was like, oh, I'm hyped. Saw it on screen, it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. This was like absolutely amazing. This movie just went, they just like broke all the rules. And what helped make this rated R, because what we seen Deadpool become rated R, it was like, yes, we needed this to be rated R, and it worked perfectly. The storyline, everything, and the ending where she says, "Daddy is the X-23," because Wolverine was her dad. That had me teared up. This is a great movie. I have some little issues with it, but that doesn't hurt the movie. This movie is like an A+, a solid A. This is a fantastic film. The acting, like I said, Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman performance was great. This movie, that year when the Oscars out, it should have got an Oscar. I don't know how it didn't get it. It was nominated. It was nominated in there, but I don't know how it didn't get one. Man, it was a well-written film. It was brilliant from beginning to end. And I highly recommend you watch this film. Watch Logan. Please. This is absolutely fantastic film. Please, if you haven't seen Logan, I don't know what to say. Please, just watch it. Incredible. Just incredible. X-Men 2. The first X-Men movie was good. This one was just awesome, phenomenal, fantastic. Any words, incredible. Everything about it was just bam 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 bam. The animation theme song, it's just fantastic. The music score. Oh, that was great. And the Nightcrawler White House scene. Oh, the best openings. This is one of my favorite openings in any comic film I've ever seen. The Nightcrawler just fighting on people in the White House. Man, that was just so great. Man, no matter not talk about this film as much, but this is one of my favorite comic films of all time, man. And Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, the X-Men's the house and stuff, where Wolverine fighting him in there, and the X-Men house and stuff like that. Oh, that was great, man. That was absolutely, the X-Men Academy house was absolutely amazing. Everything about it was so great. Man, I love this film. Everything was great. The Magneto prison scene, everything, every scene worked. The writing was great. The characters they introduced was absolutely utilized. The storyline was cohesive. William Stryker trying to kill all the mutants and stuff, all that. Everything was great in this movie. Man, this movie doesn't get a lot of credit, but this is one of the superhero films I feel like is better, like one of those comic films that was just better than the original. The sequels that you just find better than the original. And this one did it. And I highly recommend you watch this film. Please watch it. This is, I don't know what to say. If you haven't seen this film, hey, what are you doing? Please, if you have no plans at all, rent this at Redbox or buy this on DVD at Walmart, Target, anything. Just buy this movie and watch it. This is worth the watch and a popcorn, everything. Just watch this film. Deadpool Number One. This is one of my favorite comic films of all time. I mean, if this was like if I would do like top 10 comic films, the top 5, it'll be in there. This movie really, really surprised me. When I heard Deadpool was coming out, I was excited, and then hearing Ryan Reynolds was gonna be Deadpool, and I was like, how good it's gonna be. And the trailers came out. I was invested with the trailers. The trailers looked interesting, looked fun, and looked incredible. And so I was going to the movie theater, and I left out just like, wow, this movie is absolutely incredible. Everything in this movie worked. I mean, Ryan Reynolds, director Tim Miller, the writing, the comedy, the action, everything in this movie works. The storyline, everything about it is just amazing about Deadpool. It was like a love story and a revenge story. And all that blended in well. Where Deadpool tried to get revenge on this guy stuff that ruined his life and stuff. Everything about it was great. And this movie had heart. It had heart of the character, and it was rated R. So Deadpool being rated R, and it was just like the second rated R comic film. I mean, we had rated R comic film like Blade and stuff and all other films, but this one was just like, whoa, this movie was just like amazing. And Deadpool's breaking the fourth wall. It was just absolute everything about the character Deadpool. They just completely nailed. And Ryan Reynolds just knocked this role out of the park. Everything in this movie worked. The casting, T.J. Miller was absolutely funny in this movie, despite what the stuff he had done recently, but the stuff he done recently and stuff, but he was just funny in this movie. Everything in this movie was great. What more I can say? If you haven't seen Deadpool, what are you doing? This is an absolutely fantastic film. And I think it's just one of those comic films that it has that rewatchability. You can watch like over and over again. And I've watched this like 20 times. I love this movie. This movie, it just has everything that worked about it. The jokes are just so funny. I was just laughing. When I saw this in theaters, I still remember the time I watched it in theaters, I was still cracking up on the joke that was said in the beginning of the movie. It comes like in the middle of the film. I left out the movie theater just remembering the jokes that were just so funny and stuff. Especially when the action scenes with Deadpool was fighting the people in the beginning of the movie and the car and stuff and like that, and that van and stuff. It was just absolutely amazing. I won't spoil it, but man, this movie was just so great from start to finish. I do recommend this film. This is one of those comic films I say it's just fantastic from start to finish. And that's pretty much it. Like I said in the beginning of this video, let me know where you rank all your X-Men films, all 12 of them, from your worst to best. Let me know, because like I said, we have all different opinions. And sorry for being late doing this video. The film when Dark Phoenix came out in the month of June, so that kind of some of my favorite films, some of the films came out in that month, so things got tight in 2019. It's so packed with films. So I'm still working on some reviews on films and stuff. So glad I did this, because I love doing ranking videos. They're so fun. And that's pretty much it. And as always, if you like this video, click thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, click subscribe and the bell button. That's why I can see you next time on Slide the Movie Guy. Peace.